We are live.
Live.
Yep.
I'd like to put this in Facebook real quick.
And we've got the.
We may not be able to if I don't know how to do it, but we'll try. This is an experiment.
Yeah.
For our views. Oh, there it is. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll go on here and get the link and then put that in Facebook for everyone.
Okay.
And
we're just gonna quickly take a look here at the plane we're going to be speaking about tonight.
yeah. So we are live on YouTube. Join.
Miss Boozer RC says hello. Hello,
Hey.
hello.
That's Mary Boozers?
I think so.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. I haven't been on in a while, but they were always really popular. And they have their own channel.
Yeah, Mary's saying that they see us.
I'm
see you.
I'm posting a link really quick in our Facebook group so people there can kind of check it out.
Yeah,
and,
spread the love a little bit.
Spread the love. There we go. Okay, so it's in there. And now I want to put our chat up on the screen. There we go.
Perfect.
Just pop out the chat. Okay. So now I can see it up on the screen.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice?
Awesome.
So I'll go over here for the peoples.
Okay.
And if you need some juice for the
Oh,
phone,
we got the power.
So we're doing this quick and dirty or cheap and dirty tonight because it seems like whenever we try to do a production, it just gets overproduced and then nothing gets produced. So here, I'll take this power over there for you, April.
Yeah.
In case you need it for
Okay,
later.
that works. Thank you, thank
So,
you.
What are we doing today, April?
We are talking about a fun, zippy little plane.
We are. This is nothing new to us. And believe me, every swinging you know what has put a video out for one of these. All the usuals did a video, except me. I did not do a video, and well, unfortunately, you know why.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about it?
We can when we get there.
So this, just for clarity, this plane was purchased by me. It was not given to me. It was not a product that was sent to me for review. It was something that I saw and purchased. And let me just tell you a little bit about it. This is the Hangar 9 Fun Scale P-47, and it is a Balsa plane. Now, for all you foamy guys, don't go turning the channel just yet. The whole reason I want to show you this plane is because it is a very cool plane to transition from foam to balsa. And we're going to get to that, and you're going to want to watch this. But also, let me just say, there is some really good videos out there. And when I was putting mine together, the one that Brian did and the sailors did are the ones that I watched. And the one Brian did was like, I think it was like 3 hours.
Phew.
You can Google it. Just Google the plane. It'll come up. It's like the top search. But his video is like ridiculously long. But when you actually break it down, it was necessary to do that video. And so when I was doing a video, I found no real reason to reproduce the wheel that he had put out there. It was really well done. Awesome. He goes into every detail. So you can watch the beginning and just get the flight parts, but you can also, if you hang in there and you want somebody like me that bought the plane, you can go into the assembly part, piece by piece, and he breaks everything down. And for this one, you really do need that long video.
Nice.
So at first I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, God, 3 hours, you know, like, but it was, every bit of it was worth it.
It was worth it.
And then, you know, the sailors did a video on it, and they did their turn and burn in the sky, you know, as they do. And they made it look really good. And hopefully y'all went out there and purchased one, like me. So I saw the videos, I'm like, yep, gotta have one. So anyway, this is the Hangar 9 Fun Scale plane, and I bought it basically because I've been begging Horizon for a while to do bind and fly or plug and play balsa kits that could be affordable, that would already come with the motor and the servos mounted in it. And they finally did it. this wasn't the first one. They have another one, which is actually the plane I should have let out with, but I haven't put mine together yet.
Oh.
It's still sitting in the box. It's called the UltraStick 60, and it's yellow and white. It's, you know, they've done the UltraStick for a while,
Nice.
but this one's an UltraStick 60, and that one literally you can put together at the field in under 10 minutes. I watched a bunch of people this year at RC Fest do it. They took literally the box, opened it up, put it together, and then takes a screwdriver and Allen wrench, and that's it. And I think, but don't quote me, I think it might come with it, but it may not. I thought it did, but either way, it takes literally under 10 minutes to put together.
Nice.
And that one should be your first one. And then after you do that one, and you find success and you like it, come get this one next, is what I would recommend. Let me open this up real quick, the canopy up real quick. There's a lot going on with this that I want to talk to people that are, you know, really interested in this, and we'll come back to this video. And I'm watching, guys, show them our chat window up there now. We've been working on our studio, and that's why you haven't seen us, about new equipment. We're getting stuff set up so eventually we can start doing live videos, product reviews, and we're going to not just do Horizon stuff. I used to be a product ambassador for Horizon. This year, starting 2022, I have stepped away from doing that so I can focus more on building my own YouTube channel. Horizon was amazing to me, and I definitely want to show respect and pay tribute to them, you know, for their help and everything. So, but I am branching out, and you're going to start to see things that are, you know, things that I've picked up along the way, from, you know, sales at swap meets to things I've purchased overseas to, you know, just about everything, and not just planes, cars too, and even got some new choppers over there and so forth, so we'll be doing those.
Sweet.
But I'm watching your guys' comments up there, so if you have something you want to talk about, oh, right there it says M1RC says the P-47 is 75 off this Sunday. Oh, I know who that is. That's Mr. Craig. Hey Craig, how you doing? So anyway, back to this. We're just kind of goofing around, trying our equipment out today, and April and I decided, hey, what can we put up on the screen and talk about? I have so many of these kind of things that I've actually put together, filmed, or not filmed, but never got to actually assemble a video and put up. So we found this actually, for our working schedules and stuff, this might work for us. So we're going to try this tonight.
Okay.
So Avery, whatever happened to our video that we shot of this initially flying? You are the one that's responsible for that not being edited. Explain yourself. I'll film for a little bit. I won't film you. I know you don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So you got to be over here closer where they can hear you. Fess up. What'd you do?
Well, all the video is sitting on a hard drive at the moment. It has been roughly put together, but not thoroughly. So.
Okay, so
just a
it's going to be
matter
one of those things that we're going to start taking the footage and then being able to put up live while we can talk about it here on our shows instead.
Yeah.
And that will work better. So we're going to make some clips. So I'm going to give this back to you because I know you don't want to be on camera right now. And so let's talk a little bit about some things with this plane. First things I want to disclose about this version of it is that I've done a few little things to this model that isn't stock, let's just say. One of the things is I put these red tabs on here, these red covers, because when I go look up the original 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 P-47 that's in the museum, they have these red tabs on there right there.
Oh.
This was a detail that Horizon did not put on, that I just did for myself. And it was real simple. I just did a little bit of monocoat, just cut them out, and I just ironed them on myself. It took literally 5 minutes.
Nice.
It was super easy, and it just makes a cool little detail. Another thing I did was on the radial engine. This is plastic. When you get it, it's just plastic, black plastic, and you have to cut all the holes out, cut the engine hole out. Don't think that that's a big, huge deal. It really wasn't. It literally took me with an X-Acto knife probably about maybe 10 minutes being careful. Just, you know, just carefully cutting all the pieces out. Was no big deal. So then I got some hobby safe plastic paint from my hobby store, and then I just painted the radials myself and put the little rivets in there, the bolts. I did that myself. And then this is the APC prop. I went with the 6S setup. So just so you know, April, there,
Okay.
when you buy this model, you have to choose which prop you want to do, the propeller. So if you go with a 4S, it has a bigger propeller. And if you set it up for the 6S, it has a smaller propeller. Those sizes are on the product page. And as of today, you can go there and look at those. So I put on, I think this was the, can you read that size right there? It's so small, I can't read it. It's been, you know, 6 months since I put this together. I can't read it.
Yeah.
I think it's the bigger, or it's the smaller one for 6S, but it's on the product page. This is the APC gray propeller. I painted mine with some black satin paint and put the yellow on the ends myself just for fun.
Nice.
And this is the nose spinner that comes with the model. This is included. So that's all, everything I did. And then I don't know if you can see it inside, but if you look on the side over here, April, I painted my engine compartment green. It's in there, but I don't know if you can see it. It's like up here. Maybe if I tip the plane.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So I painted the whole engine compartment that green color that normally is like on aluminum inside of planes. In fact, if you look, let me grab a, we'll look at the underneath. There's some more detail that I did with mine underneath. Let's look at this. So let's turn this over.
You had a question
Okay.
from Mary up there.
Yes.
Says, did you do the receiver download profile?
I did not. I chose to program it myself, and I'm going to get to that in a second,
Okay.
and the reason why. You can see in here a couple things else that I did with mine. I painted this all in here myself, but I also Chloe proofed it. Now, I want to be careful about how I talk about this portion, because in no way at all do I want to disparage the product at all. I'm an intermediate pilot at best. And this thing on 6S is a hot tamale. Way more than I've ever expected this thing to be. It was super, super slick, fast, agile, and I put ridiculous fast servos and everything in this thing. It is a lot to handle for me. All right. And also, I still need to work on landing, especially a balsa on asphalt. And so this next part, in no way, this is just a reflection on my skills as a pilot, not as anything wrong with the plane or that you need to do anything to it, but it's what I do to Chloe proof it. And so what I did, if you look in here, which you can't hardly see, but this was the reason that I painted it, is all this right in here, I took these retracts out, which, by the way, come installed on the plane.
Nice.
All right, I took them out, and this underneath here, I filled all that in with more hardwood
Oh.
and put longer screws in. These are not the screws that came with this. So I put longer, wider head screws on there just to give it a little bit more. And I also painted the insides of my wheel pant covers, the green. I painted these black, they're normally white. And I also replaced the foam wheels. They're actually really nice wheels that come on the kit.
Nice.
But I had some of the Hangar 9 exact size wheels that come with it. These are the Pro Lite 2.5 size Hangar 9 wheels, and I decided to upgrade it to the nice rubber wheels, just for basically to be a little nicer hangar queen.
Sure.
And I'm also bad. I got a lot of planes that sit around, and when they sit around on the foam tires, you know what happens. So now, the reason that I beefed these up, and let me, can you bring the camera back over here? I want to show this part right here.
Okay.
You have to come around this side. You see this right here? This little block in there.
Yeah.
That's something that, again, I added for extra strength for landing, because when I bring it in, I have a tendency to stall a little bit at the end, and the plane will just drop suddenly.
Okay.
And where I fly, to be able to fly something like this, I only have one option that's close to me right now, and it's at this flea market, which you've seen in some of my videos maybe, where there's just this long road and it has light poles, and you got to get down in this valley of between the trees and these light posts, and you got to get down quick,
Yeah.
or a car could come.
Yep.
So unfortunately, when I made this, I was well outgunned in my skill of being able to handle this. And so when I was trying to get this down, we had crosswind. I'm going to bring out all the excuses. We had crosswind, we had downdrafts because of the, you know,
Yep.
of this area. And I was really nervous, and I just wanted to get it down, and I brought it down really hard. I did have a couple successful landings with it first, before that happened.
Yep.
But when I brought it down the last time, I busted my retract completely, and I broke this all apart. So this brings me to my new project, is my wing. This was my wing, okay? Now again, this is something that, you know, I chose to do myself. I got another wing, and it was really nice because the parts are right in stock. You know, when you build a balsa plane, normally you're going home and you're just replacing it. I was literally back out of the field within a couple days of getting the new wings.
Yeah.
I was back up and going again, which was really nice. And I just changed my hardware over. It literally took probably about an hour to do and done.
Yeah.
But I kept the other wing, and I'm making the repairs on it. I stripped all the covering off, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill in the mounts with some more support to 𝗙𝗄𝗎proof it, and I've already bought new retracts. I bought some I bought some really nice aluminum retracts. They were kind of expensive, but so worth it. These are nice ones. I'm going to put these on there, and so I'm going to have a nice set of a wing that, you know, I can beat up and be real rough with in our crappy field that we fly from that has a lot of potholes and stuff. And then I have a nice wing that when I go to shows and stuff, you know, I'll put that on and be real gentle, not to, you know, mess up my hangar queen. So, the guys at, like I said, the Hangar 9 people, Horizon, this was not their fault. This was my fault. And I've since learned, and that's why I want to share it with you, because the great thing about this is that if you're not a builder, but you're more of a pilot like I am, I would love to say I'm a hobbyist, but I'm not a builder by any means. That's my dad. That's Craig. You know that's, you know, a lot of people, but I'm more of an enthusiast pilot, and I can assemble kits pretty good. I can make repairs. I've dabbled and gotten into, you know, building some things, but on the level of building a whole plane from scratch, I've never done that. And this is why I'm excited about this kind of product, because it allows me to jump into a world where to this point has been something that it's just not on the cards for me right now. I'm a busy person. I've got a lot of things going on. I don't have the time to sit down and build a whole kit from scratch and have it look this amazing. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and what's great is that when I needed another set of wings, they were on my porch in 2 days, already ready to go.
That's nice. That's
and
nice.
I bolted these suckers on, and yeah, I made some, you know, dress up. I put, like I said, I painted this myself in here with just a little bit of, you know, brush, and did that and taped it off a little bit to make it look nice, the way I like it. But other than that, I mean, super easy.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about these fun scale type planes. I hope they do more. I hope, you know, I told them, yeah, you guys build those, I will buy one, you know, of each. You know, I want one of each. And I'm serious. This one here is awesome. And if you want to see it fly, like I said, there's some great videos online of it already. You can go and see it. I highly recommend Brian's. I highly recommend the sailors to go see their videos of them flying these. So let's get back to the one question about the radio real quick.
Sure.
Let me flip this over.
Yeah. Go ahead and flip it over and I'll grab the pillow.
Yeah. I've learned not to grab this down here because this, you know, you could break it. So I always grab it by the body. Same thing up here. You gotta be careful sometimes when you pick these things up, where you pick them up. Just like anything else.
Yeah.
So I really tried to be nice and tidy with this one. So let's go over here. Do we have some more questions up there? Did you do the receiver download? Okay. He wants to know about the receiver. Okay. So on this receiver, I put in the 8 channel. I know some people are going to think that's overkill. I wanted to make sure I had enough channels in there to do everything the way I wanted to do it. So on here, I've got each of the, there's no flaps on this plane, by the way, but I put each aileron on its own channel.
Okay.
And I chose to follow the way Brian did his setup on the radio. Now, would I recommend that for the first time person or people that are intermediate? Probably not. And the reason is that's a little bit of an advanced thing. I tried it out when I was safely way high up in the air, and there is some getting used to that. So I put mine on a switch that I can disable that feature on my radio, so the mixes come in where when I flip one switch, they go down into flap mode. You can have flaps, but you can still run the ailerons. But if I flip the switch off, then it's just normal ailerons.
Oh, okay.
So I set that all up. And that is all explained how to do that on Brian's channel as well. And I followed how he did it. However, I think he might have used the 6 channel. I had an 8 channel. That's what I decided to use because that's what I had. So does it need that? No, you can use the 6 channel if you want. But that's how I did it. Now, each of the retracts on here, since I have an 8 channel, this is totally pimp. It's really cool actually to watch. Now, some people are going to hate it because they're going, oh, it's not scale, you know, but I like it. I think it's cool. I hooked each one of my retracts up to its own channel. And so I programmed in a little delay, so when the wheels come up, you see one go up and then the other one comes up.
Okay.
And then I made another mix so when they go down, they go back in the other way back. So they go down in the same way.
Okay.
Like that. And it looks really cool. I think it looks cool, but some people are going to be like, that's not how that does that. You know, but the other reason that I did that was, and I'm not saying that I have a problem with these retracts at all, but in general, planes that I have had retracts, every time I have a failure with retracts, it's usually because one won't go up or one won't go down. Whenever I've set them up like this, I should say at least with this, my luck has been that hasn't happened. Now, I've been told by people way smarter than me that that's just coincidence, so take it for what it's worth. There are times when the retract can go bad or they start to go bad and it's time to replace it when that happens. But so far I've made it that way because the electrical person in me says, hey, I only want to send so much current to one, let it a millisecond go by and let the other one go up. So it's not pulling that much amperage at the same time.
Yeah. So
is that a thing? Probably not. But it makes me feel good in my head doing it that way. And it's probably bad disinformation, so ignore that. You know, but that's how I do it. Another couple things I've added in here, like these little rubber grommets on the wings. I added those in. I got those at Harbor Freight in a little packet. Let me show you. They work great. Let's see here. They're like $3 to $4, this whole thing at Harbor Freight. These little grommet assortments.
yeah.
Yeah. Check it out. A lot of these planes have holes already in them, and so when you have cables going through them, you can just get these. And like I said, this whole kit, I think it was like $3.99 or something at the Harbor Freight store. We're lucky to have one near us, but you can go to harborfreight.com and just buy them.
Nice.
I get all my shrink tube there. Actually, I buy the marine grade shrink tube.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Most people use regular shrink tube, but I use the Harbor Freight marine. I know we're getting off on the subject here, but I just love to show this off when I can. This stuff, the difference is with the marine grade is that there is a shiny glue. I don't know if you can see how shiny that is on the inside. When you heat this up, that glue starts to ooze just like your heat glue gun.
Oh,
So when it shrinks, it encapsulates the whole thing. It becomes waterproof. Nothing's coming undone with this. And you think, well, Chloe, I want to get it off someday. You know, what do I do if I put that on my, say, you know, adapter cables? It's very simple. You just heat it back up and slide it off. It comes off real easy. And it dries just like glue sticks. So if you have a little bit of residue, you just clean it off. Simple.
Nice.
Marine grade heat shrink tube. Did I say that right? Marine grade heat shrink tube.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a thing. Awesome, awesome stuff. Love it.
Fantastic.
So anyway, back to this is not Chloe's grab bag of goodies. So that was another reason I liked using the 8-channel. And I set this up on my IX20, but I'm going to switch over to using my NX10 controller. With this plane, you really only need, if you're somebody that has a 6-channel radio, it's no problem. You can put a 6-channel in here. Both the ailerons can be wired together. That's one channel. One for the elevator, one for the rudder, and one for the motor, and one for the retracts. So
Perfect.
5 channels, no big deal. And you can even have a spare, or you could put the ailerons or these on one of each if you wanted to do it that way. And so people with 6-channel radios are totally cool doing it this way.
Fantastic.
I wish I had that video of me shack-dackling it into the ground because it was kind of like, it just, you know, I had those flaps down, it was coming down, and it just boom.
Yeah.
Total rook. Total rookie mistake. But let's see, what else do I got here? Oh, you put all the stickers on yourself. And I flow this with a 5000 6S battery. And you've got your IC 5 connector there coming out from the speed control. Super, super simple. I wish I would have took this off. I could have showed you, but the only thing I would say that was really any kind of challenge, if you want to call it that, was doing the cowl work.
Okay.
And I don't even want to say cowl work, putting the cowl on. If you want to call this the challenge. If you're looking to say, okay, what's the catch? Where's the hardest part in this? Okay. The only thing that I found was a challenge was gluing in the little motor thing, the little motor, the fake motor. That took maybe 10 minutes, and all I did was I followed the directions. It's all pre-cut and pre-molded, so for that shape, all you do is just drop it in there, and then you just line it up. You put the cowl on there, and you line it up with your motor in the motor hole. It was actually, you know, something, the very first time I've ever done that, and you can see it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, the holes, I dremeled out the hole first with my Dremel, and I found a sanding disc that was the perfect size at Home Depot. So I just made sure that that was nice and round. And I went real slow with it because if you go too fast, it starts to melt really quick.
Yeah.
And then the other thing on here is these bolts down here. This is the one thing. This is the one thing that I had to get my hand down in there. I don't know if you can see. Let me see your screen if I can point to it. Let me see here. Let me see that. Okay, so right down in here, there are some Allen head cap screws. All right. There's 4 of them. There's one up there, down there, and one down there. And that is how you get to them, folks. And to get to it, I had to put together a very small tool to get in there.
Way down there.
Let me show you what I did. This is how I dealt with it. And they sell these they have newer versions of it, but I got one of these.
Yeah,
See how that goes? It puts it on the side, and then you can get right down in there, and you can get to your head that way, just like that. That's how I did it.
Oh my goodness.
Other than that, they sell a little adapters and different things like that in different, let's see, like something like this. Again, Harbor Freight, a little something like this at Ben's or something like that. Made it easier to get to those 4 bolts. That was the only real challenge to putting this plane together, and it was not really like, you're like, whoa, you know. I didn't have to build a jig, I didn't have to go buy tons of parts. No, that was about the only thing I ran into that was a little bit of a challenge.
Okay.
So just a heads up on that.
Cool.
And that's why I would recommend, if you're going to be a first time looking for a fun scale plane, you know, a PNP or a plane such as this, a 𝗙𝗵𝗎𝗺𝗺 or whatever, you know, this is not a 𝗙𝗵𝗎𝗺𝗺, you had to buy the radio with this one. This is a plug and play.
Okay.
I got the radio, or the servos with it already installed, and the motor came with it, but I had to supply my own radio.
Nice.
So, yeah, and so I think other than that, what do you think, April?
I like it.
I think it's an amazing little plane. I think also what we're going to do is when we do these little kind of table reviews, these little hobby squawky chats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Depending on, like, you know, the feedback and people's interest, we will make some flight videos from the field to follow up with our chat. But again, you know, this is really just Chloe's spin on it. And I really feel like I wanted to get back into the swing of things, and now I got a little bit of time to do so. Showing some of these projects that I have worked on. I've been right here, I just haven't been on the channel much.
Yeah.
Taking care of other things. And now, I've got that whole side of the basement over there is just full of either planes that need either assembled or are assembled, and we need to show them off, talk about them, get them in the air and have some fun with them.
Sure. Yep.
So, trying to think of anything else that I left out. Can you think of anything?
Nothing right now.
So again, right now, as of this video, they're saying that this plane is $75 off this Sunday. $75 off.
That's awesome.
This is not a cheap one, but it's right in line with your 6S planes, foam planes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, so if you go check that out, and today's what, March 3rd?
3rd, yes.
Of 2022. If you go check this out and get one on order, because when I looked at the page, it said they're on back order. Maybe they got some in the shop that or warehouse that are coming out. You definitely want one of these, and they're amazing. Oh, I remember. That's the one key point I want to make. I want to get back a little bit for a second about the assembly, because there's 2 paths forward with this plane. One is if you're going to fly it 4S,
Okay.
and one is if you're going to fly it 6S. If I could go back in time, now that I know how this plane flies and reacts, I would choose to set this up for the 4S. I would. And I didn't think I'd ever say that about a plane. This plane runs amazing on 4S. It's balanced perfect, right out of the box setup. And when you do it for 4S, you don't have to glue the two sections of the wing together. See on my old one here, April? See how this one's glued together at the seams?
Yes.
And there's inside the spar inside. Normally, when you assemble this for 4S, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
You can take the plane back apart. Same thing for the rear and vertical, or the vertical and horizontal stabilizers. When you do it for 4S, they're just bolted together underneath. Let me show you. They're just bolted in. They're not glued in.
Okay.
So under here, you get this nice little magnet. Okay, that's on there by a magnet. And these two right here, these nuts, aircraft nuts, are holding normally these two sections together. And you would think, oh, do they flip-flop? No, they do not. That once you bolt this on, they're really solid. However, when you do the 6S setup, the book recommends a couple different things for you to do. One of them is to take these two halves and epoxy them together. Again, some people have told me do that anyway for the 4S if you want to. You can still unbolt the whole wing section from the fuselage. It has these, you know, the nuts or the bolts right here that would normally hold the plane on. Underneath on the plane there's a pan, a cover pan.
Okay.
Which, right here, you can see there's the holes where the bolts are down inside there. But this pan screws on right over top of that whole thing for looks. But you can just say, oh, it's just plastic. I can actually push that a little bit. It's just for looks. And this whole, if you just take these two screws out, this whole thing comes off.
Okay.
And you disconnect your servos and you can store the plane away or travel with it, whatever. But I have a Ford Explorer. This thing fit perfectly in the back of my Ford Explorer. So I chose just to keep it on all the time. And I have the space to do that for now. And then also you will epoxy these sections, the vertical and horizontal stabilizer, get epoxied in there. If you haven't done that before, if you've never done that before, you're going to want to take a little time, watch some videos online, they show it, and take your time to glue that. Because you have to cut with an X-Acto knife, you have to cut some of the covering back just a little bit so the glue adheres to the wood and then to the fuselage. And then there's tricks to keeping it all neat with the glue not sliding everywhere. I have learned, I've put a couple of those cubs, I put my X cub together, and they've all, I put that together. And they all have that same technique of doing all that. So I've got a little bit of experience, but if you've never done that before, you definitely want to maybe have somebody walk you through that, watch a video, have some isopropyl alcohol, and some maybe tape to take things off and clean things off before the epoxy hardens. And definitely use 30-minute epoxy. Don't use CA, and don't use 5 or 10 minutes because you got to lay around. Walk yourself up to the hardware store or the hobby store and get some 30-minute epoxy. Thank me later. And the other thing, again, I already touched on it, but if you're going to do the 6S, you're going to want to have the smaller size prop and not the big one. Because the bigger one, because of the 6S's, torque and amperage, you're going to put so much, pull on that motor that it will burn the battery out quicker and heat up faster with the bigger prop on it. And honestly, they could even go down smaller. This thing is redunculous. It's redunculous how fast this thing is. This thing, aside from my V900, all right?
Yeah.
This is the fastest ship I have in this basement right now where things that I can fly. I'm sure I'm going to have faster things. But other than the V900, I dare anybody to come up against me with this thing. straight out of the box, let's just say. Straight out of the box, this thing is a demon, and it's fun. But definitely, I'm going to have to take this to like 𝗏𝗏𝗏 or, you know, the AMA field. I want to get somewhere where I can really practice landings with this thing and not be pressured by the road and everything else. We got some more people on here. It says strap-on, spelled backwards, is no parts. I don't even know what that means.
Jeez.
Oh, gotcha. And that's funny. That's funny. This old helmet. Hey Chloe, hey Boozers. Hi Michael. So yeah, so what do you guys think? Does anybody in the audience have this model? Have you tried flying it? Have you heard anything about it? I would be really interested to know about it. I'm going to give you one more look in here. Let's throw a battery in there just so they can see the CG point.
Sure.
I don't have it out right now, so I'm going to stick a 5,000 in there just to show you how big right here is, okay? What I did with mine, okay, this is just what I did. Right in here, to get this battery in, you can see the clearance right here for a 5,000 is you got to finesse it in there just a little bit. The 4,000 actually probably be a little bit better. Now, this is where I fly it. I get that battery. You want to come around this side?
Yeah, let me come around.
I get that battery. You can continue actually to keep shoving it up inside if you want. This is where I flew it. Right with this line right here, I put the battery just like that right there. That's all I did with it. All right. I took the straps out right now, but there's actually straps that go around the whole thing, and I strap it down. The straps aren't in there right now. They're in my box being used by other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can connect it right here just like that. And done. So that's where I found on the 6S setup, that's where I found the CG for this one, right there just like that.
Perfect.
Now, getting it back out, again, you know how it gets, you know, when you're at the field and you're tired and you're trying to do things, this you gotta just take a little time and it comes right on out.
Nice. Easy.
Easy peasy. And they actually label I did not label all these things like rudder and ailerons and stuff. All that comes already done for you.
Nice.
Speed control already in there.
Jeez.
Already done. One last thing I did with this, guys, it's fun. This has an avian ESC in it, and it allows you to do reverse thrusting. So if you can imagine the spectacle of a Warbird plowing in, you know, cruising in and coming in like that, and then all of a sudden going backwards. This one will do it. It's actually kind of fun. And a nice little, you know, thing, if you're overshooting a little bit, if you're fast on it and the way you set it up in your radio, you hit that and you get a little reverse to slow it down, it can kind of be cool. The thing I haven't been able to get used to doing it yet is how to set it up on my radio where, you know, you're holding it like this and you're trying to, you know, get ready for it. I think what would be amazing still, and I've said this in other videos, is that I think when Spectrum is investing in new technology on their radios, they really need to incorporate bumper buttons or some kind of buttons on the back of your radio, just like joysticks. So when you're holding your radio, you can manipulate functions back here.
Okay.
Now maybe that's not for everybody, because if you accidentally hit something, you know, while you're in the panic mode or squeezing, it would just be nice that if I had something while I was holding it, I could manipulate from the back of the radio.
Yeah.
It would be really amazing. And the one thing I'm thinking is that reverse thrust. I've seen guys use it on a switch. I've seen some use it on the panic button. Your choice how you set that up. But there's videos for how to do all that. And again, it's at least a feature with the Spectrum Avian ESCs, which this one happens to come with. It's pretty amazing. I love it.
Fantastic.
So what do you think, April?
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I really do.
Oh,
Hey, we got somebody from Auckland, New Zealand.
cool.
Lawrence. Hello, Lawrence.
I hope this video serves, some to help start getting our channel going again. And it's, my fault, with everything that's been going on with the pandemic, since that all is now starting to kind of trail off. Work is picking back up.
Yes.
Back full time.
Yep.
Things are getting better, and I didn't sit down here on my laurels. I definitely have done a lot of things. Bought a lot of planes, put a lot of things together, and I still have a lot to do. So I want to get as best I can to get some content up on there, get people involved again with our channel. So I hope that you'll go ahead, if you're just tuning in, to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And we also have a Facebook group. It's RC Safari. Most of you know that watch this channel, but if you're just watching for the first time, I hang out a lot on Facebook, and especially in my own RC group, where I post a lot of photos, things that aren't on the channel. A lot of times I post videos there that aren't over on YouTube. So now what I'm trying to do, we're going to try to build our YouTube presence some more, get our subscribers up, and really have some fun.
Sure.
I think it says, "Hi Chloe from Auckland, New Zealand." I love this new setup.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get our cameras going, our lights, our new software. We got a few more things to buy. We got our new microphone kits. We're going to be building a track up here, also a gantry for holding our camera equipment that will slide down this. We're going to get some extruded aluminum and build some tracks up here. And then that's going to be 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's job.
Yep.
She's the mechanical engineer. I'm the electrical engineer. So we're going to build something like that. That's what we're working on, designing anyway. And then as far as lighting, plus I want, if we can do it, some kind of like table tray that I can put planes up on here and work on or show things.
Yeah.
And slide them down and bring other stuff in. It would be amazing.
Yep.
So I like the setup that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has too. Their stages are just full of lots of things to look at. So
Yeah.
we're going to do the same thing and get our stuff set up. So getting
Yeah.
this going so far has been really good.
It's one step,
It's a
and we're,
step.
we're going to get it.
Yeah. So I think we're good for now. And
Fantastic.
when do you want to redo this again? Couple days?
Yeah, we can do it Sunday.
Do it Sunday?
Sure.
All right, we'll be back here this Sunday with some more live. And leave us some comments in there what you would like to see. I got a new plane that I'm putting together. I'll just tell you right now what it is. It's probably not going to be like blow everybody's dress up and stuff, but I think it blows mine up. I'm going to be starting to put together my L4 grasshopper. And it's a Cub. And there's a whole, thing about that plane. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
All right, I'll just give you the short and sweet of it. It was a reconnaissance plane in World War II. Imagine that Cub, or this Cub right there. Just imagine this for a second, okay? Imagine that being painted OD green, olive drab green, solid, right?
Okay.
And imagine up in the wing spars on the jury struts having bazookas mounted in there. This thing only flies about 80, 85 miles an hour in real life. It's real slow. It's just for like going up and checking the weather. In fact, the Germans didn't even shoot at these things because they pose zero threat. And they were made of fabric, so when you shoot one, the bullets just went right through it. Unless you killed the pilot, it probably wasn't coming down.
Oh, jeez.
So they didn't even bother shooting at these things. They could fly over, see where Germans are hiding, and then radio back to people, to the army, and say, hey, these guys are all in this trench over here, go aim your stuff over here, right? So what's amazing about this plane, mine is not the actual copy of it, but the original one was called Rosie the Rocketer, if you go look it up.
Okay.
Rosie the Rocketer, L4 L/4 or L-4, whatever you want to say, grasshopper. And there's this pilot who would go, and he decided to give the Germans a little how do you do. He decided, you know what, I'm here, they're there, I'm not doing anything, my guys are getting mowed down, what can I do to help? So he gets an idea to put some bazookas on the jury struts, and they loaded up these, electrical switches inside that he could launch bazookas, missiles, and he would have to dive bomb at these Tiger tanks. I mean, this is incredible. Like, you know how rare it is, like hard it is to take out a Tiger tank? Let me tell you if you don't know, it's like top of the pile, baby. It's difficult. And these are not things that every man in the Army that lived to tell a tale can say, I took out a Tiger tank, let alone, a guy in a plane, right? So this guy's dive bombing, right? He's dive bombing down at these tanks, and he lets these things off the chain and blows the hell out of these tanks. He gets I think it was like a total of 14 of them over his career. He takes out these damn tanks. So anyway, this plane eventually is lost to history, and at one point it's owned by civilians. They recover it and blah blah blah. Eventually it's found, and I think it is the same group. I want to say, what's their name? What's that group? Come on, guys, you can help me out here. Who owns like the B-24, the McConnell Group, or the Conrad Group? So whoever it is that owns all that, they're the ones that have finally found this plane and restored it. And now the original plane is in that museum somewhere. I believe that's true. Anyway, there is a kind of reproduction RC plane of the L4. It's not Rosie the Rocketer. It's a different scheme, but it's the same plane. You don't get the bazookas on it. But a couple Pringles cans, we might be good to go. And some black paint. So anyway, that's what I'm excited for, because there's a little part of me when I'm flying these planes in the air, especially this one. I'm imagining, I'm one of those pilots knocking the hell out of the enemy, and I like to swoop in and imagine my guns just going, taking out everybody, just going on a ton of sorties, just having all out war. It'd be a lot of fun. So part of the flight of this plane, and that's what I'm going to show off Sunday, maybe. And I will. If I have all, I'm waiting on a few parts to come, because I want to show everybody my setup, how I'm going to put it together. Then we'll probably put it together off camera. Then we'll come back and we'll show it, and then we'll go fly it.
Cool.
It's something that we don't need to wait for good weather to fly, because it's a Cub. I can take it off at the school field. We're really close by. And it's going to have 4-inch tires.
Okay.
So, and the Cub is I think it's 60 inches is the wingspan. So it should be pretty cool. And I got the plane originally, the kit, it's a Nexa kit, and it's sold by 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I believe. Now don't quote me on this. I've heard that Nexa is actually just a commercial name that is like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's brand name, but I think it's actually made by VQ models, but I'm not positive on that.
Okay.
I think they do, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's where I got the model, and so I want to show it all off, so we'll do that Sunday.
Awesome.
So this concludes Chloe's story time. And we'll probably tell that story. Maybe I'll even read up on it a little bit more. Maybe we'll get some pictures we can put up on the screen and talk about the plane, and get everybody invested in it.
Nice,
All
nice.
right. My goal is to get some of these foam flyers to kind of take a look at these balsa planes and take everything that they've learned or about the foam planes and show them that they can do some of these ARF kits. The kit that I'm getting, I think it was like $250 or $260 bucks. It was super cheap. So it's all the other stuff. It's the same thing as buying a foam plane. You're just putting all the stuff in a wood plane.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how I'm going to put it. Like this one here. This one has safe all set up on it. I can turn it on and off. I can train with it. I can go aerobatic. I can do all that stuff. So I'm going to do the same thing with the L4 grasshopper. And I'm going to take you guys along for the journey at the same time.
Fantastic.
Pork chops, take us out.
All right, well, that's all we've got. So if anybody's got any last questions or anything, say them now.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you Sunday. What time do you want to do it?
Whatever time you're available.
I'm thinking, is it better, you guys tell us in the comments, is it better for us to do a morning, afternoon, or evening show? And remember, I'm in East Coast time here in Ohio. So somebody throw it up in the chat, what time you guys think you'd like to see it. We'll take a look at those comments, and then we'll set a time, and maybe we'll make an announcement here. But if I have to guess, it's probably going to be sometime in the afternoon, just so the West Coast is, up and at least had their coffee and, All right.
All right.
Everybody, thank you again.
All right, thank you.